Hi, and welcome to the Leader's Edge. Today we are talking with Marc Persaud, and our topic is about igniting dragons. And we hear dragons, we hear angels, we hear unicorns, and we must wonder what are all these buzzwords about? And innovation in itself sounds like just another overused buzzword. You know, um, New products, revolutionary new ideas, and things like that feel like they are in big markets and they don't really apply to us here in Trinidad and Tobago and in our region. And my question for us this morning, as we think about the awareness idea and around this topic, is can we afford to remain in that bubble of slow or no real change, given the rapid pace of change around us and the technology, tools, and products that are available to us? Right? So let us join Marc Persaud. Let us have Georgia introduce Marc and get on with this topic about igniting dragons.
Okay, wonderful, Emily. I've been looking forward to this one, Mark. It's such a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you.
It's nice on a Monday morning for us to talk about something fresh and new, innovation. Because every time you talk about innovation, there is this spirit that comes up that says, yes, let's get this going. So, who is Marc Persaud? When you hear the word startup ecosystem, when you hear things like competitive business innovator and Caribbean Dragons, yes, he's a co founder and the director of that organization. He's into finance and investment, and he's a builder from the ground up. And Mark, you have such a passion for the Caribbean, and you also have a passion for innovation, and you're bringing those two things together. You are saying, Silicon Valley, step aside, here we come. Talk to us, Mark, about that passion and where that is coming from.
Sure, sure. Well, thank you both. Thank you so much, George and Emily, for having me today. It's a real pleasure to be on your podcast. The passion comes from a couple of places. I am a serial entrepreneur founder, but I want to say a serial failed entrepreneur. I never hit it big. And so the original idea around this whole startup idea, bringing resources to the Caribbean, came from my failures and feeling very alone. This is back in 2008, feeling very alone when I failed in my two startups. I learned a lot. Everybody keeps telling me, don't say the word failure, say you learned a lot, but they were failures. I
Yeah.
learned a great deal. I was okay, well, then why was I so alone? Why did I fail? Why did I not have mentorship? Um, and then when I moved to the UK for a few years, I just saw this breadth of resources that their founders, their entrepreneurs had at hand to leverage. And I thought, well, why don't we have none of this in the Caribbean? But then the other reason, the other side of it, why I'm so passionate about this is in coming back home and learning a lot and researching a lot. The idea of innovation, which is across a large spectrum, right? So from startups to corporates, process, manufacturing, it's quite large. But the idea of innovation in Trinidad and Tobago, we talk about having to diversify the economy and move the economy forward. Innovation for emerging economies is being researched as one of the main catalysts that gets you from the emerging economy to the developed economy, social justice, social equity, much faster. So without it and without focusing on the purveyors of innovation, we slow down our growth rate or our trajectory towards a developed market, and to a better quality of life for our citizens. So that's really why I'm so passionate about it. Now, I will say this: it can't be achieved. You can understand why innovation is so important. You can understand that it actually helps us achieve the SDGs, but
Mhm.
it doesn't matter if you don't have anybody innovating. And I guess this is why I am currently so excited about it, because for the first time you have the desire, yes, but it's being matched with a pipeline of innovators who are creating new things. Folks who
That's
have
what's important.
PhDs and MBAs, incredibly professional, coming back from some of the best universities in the world, or the best university in the world, UE, whatever you're looking at, and they're staying and becoming founders. So you're matching the passion for innovation now with the need for it, and that's why I'm just one of my big whys. That's why I'm so excited about participating in the space as well.
Yeah.
That's great. So you're talking now about making sure that we have the ecosystem, and that
Yeah,
was a conversation we didn't have before. So talk to
yeah.
us. building that ecosystem?
Sure, sure. So when I failed, and we use the word again, when I failed,
Mm-hmm.
there was not much of an ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, each country has produced uh, indigenous assets to help with innovation. So in Trinidad and Tobago, for example, we have a wonderful organization called Kariri. We have Nedco. We have Scale Up TT. We have Export TT as incubators. In Jamaica, they have an amazing organization called Rev Up and
Mm-hmm.
First Angels. They have run by Sandra Glasgow. They have the Development Bank of Jamaica is doing a lot of great work over there. In Barbados, you have 10 Habitat, Future Barbados. So in each of the countries, the ecosystems are growing with
Right.
resources for the startup community. The ceiling that produces, though, naturally, is that founders don't look for resources outside of their home countries, the home island of their home countries.
Mm-hmm.
So the problem with that is that they design their solutions just for that home country. So in Trinidad and
Oh.
Tobago, 1.3 million people.
Right.
Problem with that is that an investor, of course, for growth, you need money. That's just how it is.
Mm-hmm.
For growth, that capital won't take you seriously if you're investing in just a small territory. So
Right.
Caribbean Dragon's ideology is let us produce a regional ecosystem
Mm-hmm.
so entrepreneurs can access resources from any part of that ecosystem. That
Right.
ecosystem has many actors, not just geographically, but it has the founders or entrepreneurs. It has investors of many types, institutional and more private wealth, angels, funds. It has mentors. It has service providers, academia,
Wow.
multilateral banks. It has many actors. But the idea for Criminal Dragons was those actors are doing good work in each of the islands, and we call them dots. Criven
Mm-hmm.
Dragon was developed to connect the musculature across the dots, to connect those dots. So that somebody in Trinidad could find a co-founder in Barbados, find a technical coder in Nassau, find an investor from Jamaica, and vice versa, right? Uh,
Nice.
so that's what the ecosystem needs to build and be bigger in. And that's what I mean. And then the last layer on that for us is if you're gaining all your resources from throughout the Caribbean, that's amazing. The talent pool is much bigger, but
Mm-hmm.
then you still need to scale at one point in time. So the
Mm-hmm.
idea is okay, so can we build bridges from that ecosystem into the ecosystems of Latin America, which are much broader and a little ahead of us. So 60 million people in Colombia, for example. Can you build bridges into those markets and use that as a jump off point to really scale?
Yeah. Yeah.
Emily, I see the excitement building for you.
Yeah, it is. It's incredibly exciting. It's there's nobody. I think the time for it is right now. There's been no better point in time for the Caribbean with the founders and the desire for diversification. But I think there is an urgency as well. And the urgency is that once you start creating or igniting the passion of the founders, and again, remember, these are very smart people, very driven people throughout the stratas of society, throughout the Caribbean. The issue is that you need to then give them the resources to scale, or they will leave. They will leave the region. They will scale somewhere else.
Right.
So I think I'm very passionate about it, but there's also there's an urgency, there's a time imperative here that we need to build these ecosystems very quickly so that we can keep the intellectual capital in the Caribbean, in the region.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, there's so many moving parts with this idea of growing as you said, the ecosystem for innovators, and to allow allow them to basically take flight, right? And I
Yes,
suppose there's a lot of risk in that as well, which is why sometimes, in the Caribbean, I don't know if we are more risk averse, or maybe we have less people who feel that some of this is too savvy for them, so
yeah,
that they don't feel like comfortable in getting involved and so on. But yet we miss the boat, right?
we do.
Because I think you were talking about some really great uh, projects that started up in I think it was Mexico or other countries, not just in like normal developed countries that we would
Yeah,
think about. And right around us, it's happening. So the idea is, and I think also you shared, Mark, a passion when we spoke earlier about innovation. The innovation journey changes the trajectory of the entire landscape, the entire country, so it can change the entire region.
Yeah.
And and I feel like from a global perspective, like when people travel to Asia, they talk about, what they see over there and how things are being done. And over here, it's like we are like still back in the
Yeah.
quote unquote dark ages. It's like, more and more, if we don't adopt or adapt or create spaces, it's going to be, I guess, more and more challenging for us. We're going to feel more and more left behind. And you talk about the timing and all of that. I mean, what is needed from all of us, the listener, the average listener, they might be in any sector. What is needed from people to sort of help this drive, this push, this momentum to build it?
Right,
What
right.
would
Well,
you say?
I think it's a great question. I think if you really do have a passion for sort of changing the trajectory of the region, I do, and as we discussed, I do think some of the startups have the potential of changing how we work, how we play, how
Right.
we do business on a granular level, and remove a lot of the friction from the issues we have in the Caribbean, right? From transportation inter-island to financial inclusion of those who aren't in the system, which includes wealth savings and management and saving for your kids' education, to sargassum recycling and use, to climate change, the blue economy. People are working on all of these things, but the people at the forefront of them are these high potential startup founders, right? Who are really pushing the envelope. And how you can get involved in it. Well, as I mentioned before, there are many actors in the ecosystem, but I think if you're passionate, really passionate about it, um, you know, if on the local level, you can find your local ecosystems. In Jamaica, it's quite vibrant. In the OACS, they have some. Just find your local ecosystem and get involved. And of course, you can always contact us as well, and we'll happily, as a mentor, we can match you. As an investor, we can invite you to capacity learning days to understand about investing in the space
Mm-hmm.
and understanding what venture capital, venture investing, angel investing, blended finance investing looks like. As service providers, you can support the founders, you can get your name out there. And as founders and co-founders, we're trying to build a database that connects and match makes all of that. So one of the major things we're trying to do is build a digital community where you can just step into, even from somebody from outside who's never been in the community before, and interrogate all of this. And I would also put a little plug for diaspora.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Lots of diaspora who are, it's now fashionable again, thankfully, to be Caribbean. My dad was from Ghana. I still say West Indian, but be a Caribbean person. And so the diaspora can get involved by, um, again, contacting us or contacting the local ecosystems and trying to understand, can they get, and they don't have to give capital, but they can give mentorship. They can open up market networks in more developed either cities or countries. So the
Mm-hmm.
diaspora, we're trying to get them all involved. What we're trying to actually do, one of our initiatives is build rings of networks. So we're trying to build, I'm in Trinidad and Tobago myself, but we're a Caribbean entity. So we're trying to build ambassadors in each of the major Caribbean hubs. We're trying to build ambassadors in each of the major Latin American hubs, Mexico, Colombia, Brazil, etc. And we're
Mm-hmm.
trying to build a diaspora, two diaspora ambassadors in each of the main international hubs. So Miami, New York. We just onboarded a lovely gentleman from Jamaica in London who lives in London. We just got a lovely lady who lives in Sao Paulo. So we're trying to build that network as well. So you can contact those people, and you can even get involved sometimes locally in that country. I'm sure there are founders who are of Caribbean origin. I'm sure they'd love to get together. I'm sure they'd love to hear from somebody in that profession, in that network. So you can get involved at the grassroots level immediately. And if there's any challenge in it, please do contact us and we'll walk you through our grassroots movements and our material and our programming and all that sort of stuff. But that's
Mm-hmm.
how I encourage you to get involved.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, Mark, sometimes some things may sound easier than it really is, and I know it must be challenging. And the thing is, we don't lack creativity. We don't lack the talent. We have the talent, we have the creativity, we have the ideas. And what you're saying now, it's so important to get those innovators together with those proposed investors. And you're now
Yes,
trying to grow that ambassadorship right across the region. And you have been speaking directly to our audience. If you're an innovator or if you're an investor, we need to get you together. We need to grow that ambassadorship across the region, and we need to make sure that we are matching people together. And that's what you're all about. We're so happy to have you on the show this morning, Mark.
thank you
Emily,
so much.
over to you to wrap.
Well, there's not much else to say, Mark, except, I mean, I think it's important for us individually to not dismiss that innovation is simply making change happen, thinking always about how to improve, how to
Yes,
Yes.
improve, how to improve, not getting complacent, not allowing everybody else to improve around us and we stay stuck in the same
absolutely.
space. And I mean, it's at all levels. I mean, Mark, you didn't mention the governments, but I mean, the legislation and the government,
Yeah, yeah,
the system also includes the ecosystem of the
Yes,
legal system and the ability to do
absolutely,
business easily, right? That
absolutely.
that's an
is
Yeah.
that is
important
actually
part.
core.
No,
So
absolutely. And investment, most ecosystems have thrived when the government comes in as an equal partner, investing in
Right.
spaces, investing in programming, and then creating the legislation that underpins investment. And, well, if you're in fintech, underpins the fintech movement, but
yeah,
underpins venture investing into the space. So
right.
they're 100% necessary as equal
Mhm.
partners in the journey for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And again, when you think of the region, I suppose we are all at different stages of
We
creating
are,
the
we are,
legislation and
yeah,
creating the environment. But the ecosystem cannot survive without the environment. And I think your clarion call at the beginning was that now is the time.
yeah.
Mhm.
Because I guess the way the world is right now, and where people are looking to invest, and with people like you, sort of being the connector, being the sort of in the engine in the middle, it allows for all of that to take place. And you're saying to us that now is the time for
Yes.
Yeah.
all actors to act. And let's not wait anymore. Let's not. So if you have something, if you do have ideas, I think Mark as well. You all have this igniting. You have
Yeah.
what is it?
Yes.
It is a summit, right?
Yes.
Ignite Innovation Summit. Yeah. So it's designed to everything we've talked about. It kind of does all of that in an in-person summit, all of that connection and that sharing of knowledge and so on.
Yeah.
Once a year, we do it in an in-person manifestation called Ignite Innovation Summit. It's held in TNT, and we do an investor day, a founder day, and a student day, so that
Wow.
we produce the next generation of innovators, right?
Yeah.
And it's in October 13th to 15th in Port of Spain, if
All
anybody's
right.
interested.
Awesome. So
Yeah.
people check it out. I'm sure your stuff is on LinkedIn, Mark.
Yeah, LinkedIn and caribbeandragons.org. You can find it all there. It's a
caribbeandragons.org,
nonprofit.
and we
Yeah.
will put the links in the notes for people who are interested.
Yeah.
And let's don't let opportunities pass us by, people. I think
Right.
if you have money and you're investing and you find that you're not getting good returns, this might be something to look at.
Yeah.
Some part of your portfolio might need
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
look at
Exactly.
this kind of risk, and if you do have ideas, there are people to support you, because I feel like a
Yes.
lot of founders may feel like they are floundering, they don't
Yeah.
know how to get their ideas off the ground and so on, and there are spaces and places to
Yeah.
support you and guide
For
you. And if
sure.
you do have great ideas that are scalable, there are people who can show you how to scale, because
Mm.
without scale, we're not going to make any money, and of course we need to make some money
Oh,
from all of this.
yes, yes. Oh, and we don't talk much about philanthropy and innovation, so we need to start talking about that.
Yes. For sure.
So thank you, Mark, for your
Thanks
time
for
today.
having me. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I hope people, you take the call to action, check out the summit, check out the information on
Yeah.
Mhm.
caribbeandragons.org, and, get involved in this space. All right. Thank you, Mark. Take
Thank
care.
Thank
you
All
so
the
much,
you.
best to
Georgia. Thank you, Emily.
you.